chill.
Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest, that's a good one, action figure video podcast. So take off your pants, crack a beer, and let's talk toys. Let's talk about the nerdy news that you need to know about. It's the only news that matters. It's good news. And on today's show, is Roman Reigns leaving WWE? The Avatar 2 trailer makes a splash. And everyone look busy because the King in Black is here. But as you know on Model Behaviour, action figures always come first.
Or sometimes not at all.
And with all the recent developments happening in the toy world, there is a whole bunch of news to discuss. So let's talk about it. Coming up first, Jay Hernandez got the exclusive reveal of the King in Black Knull and Venom 2-pack. Oh, to say I'm jealous would be one heck of an understatement. But if anyone deserves to review these guys, it's Jay Hernandez. And he did a fantastic job of showing you just how gorgeous these two action figures are. It actually made me rethink a lot of my criticisms about Hasbro with their pricing and whatnot, because seeing these action figures, I'm like, yeah, I can actually kind of see where that money has gone. Knull looks fantastic with all the brand new sculpting and design, a completely unique figure, and he just looks... I ran out of words. Looks terrific. Exactly what I would want the King in Black to look. That's what they've captured. I cannot wait to get my pre-orders in. And finally, Venom. Oh man, that movie body, I was like, I was kind of, ambivalent about it. But seeing it in 616 comic book colors, yeah, that is the perfect Venom. Absolutely perfect. I cannot wait to display him in my classic Spider-Man display. And those wings... oh, jeez Louise. I'm going to find some way of attaching them to the back of Knull. Because I want classic Venom and I want Knull with the wings. I'll make it happen because that is going to look incredible. This 2-pack, that's going to be a strong contender, either one of them, for Marvel Legend of the Year. So that's something to really build up some hype for. Only little sort of gripe I have is that Venom has the lovely rippling kind of body, but then he's got a smooth skin head. And it's like, that doesn't quite marry as well as I would have liked, but I can look past it because the overall package, if you will, is just fantastic. So congratulations to Jay Hernandez for getting that reveal, and kudos to Hasbro. You made a good looking 2-pack. Speaking of kudos, McFarlane have followed through on Todd's promise to do a weapons pack. So for $15, you can get 15 guns coming July of this year. This is terrific news for DC Multiverse collectors who cannot get guns to go with their gun-wielding characters. As asinine a decision as that might have been, now you can correct it. Yeah, you got to pay for the privilege, but heck, you get a lot of bang for your buck. Literally. See what I did there? So finally, Deathstroke, Red Hood, freaking anyone who is supposed to have a gun can now have a gun when you buy the Spawn weapons pack. Because, yeah, it's labeled as part of the Spawn series, but come on. Come on. We know where those guns are going. I'm sure Warner Brothers and DC were like, okay, Todd, you can make that weapons pack, but are you sure people aren't going to use those weapons for our lovely family-friendly DC characters? Oh, what? No, of course not. People don't want guns with their DC characters. They only want to use guns for Spawn because he's cool. Boys like guns. My Todd McFarlane is slowly turning into a Stan Lee. They all just kind of merge together. But yeah, so July this year, get yourself a big old weapons pack. Don't give any of them to the Spawn characters because they already come with guns. And basically get your DC Multiverse figures packing. Because with the addition of these guys, they're going to look pretty cool. Over in Transformers, Hasbro have shown off their new Wreck and Rule Impactor and Spindle. Now, these guys are part of the Wreckers, which is a sort of subgroup that I'm a big fan of because it's just a cool kind of like Black Ops, Covert Ops type group of Autobots that has a rotating roster, but often Hot Rod, Springer, RC, they will be part of the Wreckers. I guess it's kind of got a feel of the 86 movie, which is why I kind of like it, but then all sorts of different bots will come in and out of that group. So these two coming together, it looks like what you would expect from modern Transformers. Very clever technology that allows both versions from the robot mode and the disguise mode. Not that it's a very convincing disguise. Don't worry, I'm going to turn into a Spinosaurus. They'll never know we were here. Okay. But yeah, they both look really good. No more compromising one form to get the other one working. Hasbro, they're very, very clever. They can make both of them look decent. So double thumbs up for that. This is one of the more expensive ones, retailing for over $50 or pounds. I need to just pick a currency and stick with it, but you know I never will. But if you want to go pre-order him, he's up there right now on Hasbro Pulse. Go check him out. Or check them out. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Why do I even bother correcting myself? You know what I'm talking about. Now this is an unusual one. Toy Arc have a preview image, and other places do as well, Model Behaviour late to the party, of the Carbotics Mickey Mouse by Blitzway. Now this is a really interesting looking piece. I kind of like it. I think Mickey Mouse is a character that is really interesting in how it can be co-opted and redone in so many different ways. Just like Garfield, you can take the essence of the character and transform it into so many things, and it's still intrinsically Mickey Mouse. Of course, you can't do too much with it because Disney are so protective with their property. They don't want to do any weird Mickey Mouse stuff. You can get loads of unofficial weird Mickey stuff, but this is official, robotic, mechanical looking Mickey Mouse, and I kind of dig this. This reminds me of the robots from Nier Automata, where they're sort of designed to kind of look normal-ish, but also not hiding the fact that they are robots either. I like that. As a standalone kind of art piece, I think that's pretty wicked. So it's just one image that we have at the moment. No release date or price or anything like that. But just as a cool little aside and a little curiosity, I kind of dig this. Now this next one is for all of you anime fans out there. We're getting Fist of the North Star Kenshiro reincarnation version by Medicos. Now, I don't actually know a lot about anime and Fist of the North Star. I know, shocking, right? But there are folks out there who do, because this is a property that has lasted the test of time. I need to at least see the movie, the animated movie. I hear that there's a live action one too, but that ain't too good, from my understanding. But I think that if I watch the animated movie, that's something I could probably get on board with. I like cartoons, especially violent cartoons. It's funny, I used to be really scared of like the subversive manga kind of like anime of the early 90s. I was like, oh no, that's weird adult stuff. I don't like that. Now I'm like, oh, bring on the anime gore. So I think I need to go back and give the animated Fist of the North Star a try. Then maybe I'll want this figure, but if I want it, I'm going to have to jump through a few hoops. Because from what I understand, it's going to be available to buy at Wonderfest this summer. But also, if you want to pre-order it, then pre-orders go live on May 26th via the Medicos online shop. So I don't know what the international shipping is like or what the deal is with that. But if you're a Fist of the North Star kind of person, then you can go and check this out. Speaking of things that scared me as a kid, Neca have done another Monster Mayhem reveal with their 1982 Creepshow Creep figure. Sorry if that last sentence seemed a bit belabored, it was the 10th time that I tried to do it without garbling my words, but we got there in the end! Woohoo! So yeah, this thing looks, well, creepy, as the name should imply. I don't like the Creepshow. I haven't seen it, but I remember being scared of the VHS box when I was in Blockbuster, or the Ritz, as it was called back in the mid-80s. There was something very grimy and subversive about VHS stores in the 80s. You just can't recapture that on Netflix, unfortunately. But yeah, the image of this thing still creeps me out because Neca are so good at recreating exactly what a thing looks like. So if you want to put down your pre-orders, then pretty soon you can do for the 1982 Ultimate Creep. There, got through the whole thing. Okay, ready to hear me talk about things that I know nothing about? Well, yeah, that's pretty much what this entire channel is based on, so why stop now? Super 7 have shown images of Czarface. Okay, so from what I understand, alright, I'm spitballing here, but Czarface is a hip-hop act, right? And it's made up by different hip-hop people. Let me read off some names that I don't recognize. So from what I understand, it's made up of Esoteric, 7L, Inspector Deck, it's not spelt properly, and artist L'Amour Supreme. I guess the artist L'Amour Supreme, is that the guy who designed this action figure? I'm still trying to figure out the details. I don't know how the world of hippity hop works. All I'm saying is I'm a big Vanilla Ice fan, and he's probably going to be due for a comeback any day now. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. So I will say, this figure looks quirky and unusual and very Super 7-ish. There's something that's always very kitsch about Super 7. They seem to lean hard into the kind of retro aesthetic. And this is very much like an art piece. Apparently, this is like part of a wave. There should be more coming, I think, but you can see from the slight glazed look of confusion in my eye, I don't entirely know. But I'm showing you the pretty pictures, and if you're anything like me, you like pretty pictures. So this is what we can go on for now. But yeah, it looks like a weird 1950s sci-fi robot space cosmic kind of thing. If you're into Cosmic Legions, could be a fun addition, as a matter of fact. So yeah, that's the figure. We don't have any other details at the moment, but as soon as we do, you know your boy Dave's gonna let you know. And that's it for the toy news for today, but that's not it for the news entirely. We still have a whole bunch of other stuff to talk about because I got a lot of things that I care about. First of all, Avatar: The Way of Water teaser trailer has been released. I saw it first in front of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. We got poster as well, so we really actually get a proper look after all these years. What was it, 2009? that Avatar came out? It's been a long time, and James Cameron left us without a dope beat to step to. But fortunately, the story of Pandora and the Smurf Cat people is continuing, and so far I'm kind of interested, and I think the world in general is kind of interested. That seems to be the cultural zeitgeist that I'm feeling at the moment. Avatar was a huge big deal for like 3 months in 2009. It was the biggest film to have ever existed, and then people just kind of forgot about it. It was like, okay, that was a big thing, really impressive 3D visuals, and now we're done. And we haven't really been lamenting Avatar since. We've always known that there were more things coming, but no one was really clamoring for it, I don't think. There wasn't much hype. So this coming now, they're going to have to really knock it out of the park. Because since Avatar came out, we've had the entire MCU. Alright? That kind of shows the time frame that we're talking about here. Once you've had Avengers Endgame and all this kind of stuff, like, just pretty graphics are not going to be that sort of impactful to us, because we've kind of seen it now. One thing that was actually very reassuring to me in the trailer that I was really pleased to see is that there still seems to be a lot of actual real footage, human beings on sets, and that's what I really like. There's a certain kind of industrial mechanic, or not mechanic, but industrial kind of like look that some James Cameron films have that I really enjoy. That kind of Aliens sort of look, where it's like, just feels like a real world that people are living in. And that was what I was worried about Avatar, was that it wasn't going to be that. It was just going to be just like a CGI movie. And like, the humans are gone now, so now we're just flopping around in the water, you know, on Pandora. And that really wouldn't do anything for me. I don't want to watch a CGI movie, but if they actually have human actors appearing as people with actual physical sets, that could be a good thing. So it seems like it's going to be another one of those man and industry is bad and nature is good kind of stories, which, you know, we get out the wazoo, and we go, we watch them, we sit back and go, yeah, industry's terrible. Okay, excuse me while I go back to the life of industry now, because that's just the way things are, you know? But it is going to have a nice message. Ugh, that's something I'm getting really tired of hearing. The message. Yeah, okay, sometimes things can be a little bit preachy, and I'm kind of prepared for some preach. But also, I'm prepared for some entertaining movie goodness as well. So, color me cautiously optimistic. We might be in for a fun time. Over in video game news, a trailer has come out for a game that's kind of caught my eye called Remote Life, which is a side-scrolling 2D bullet hell type spaceship shooter. And this is the kind of thing that young Dave was raised on my Commodore Amiga 500, playing Foundation's Waste and Blood Money and all these kinds of games. This looks like a proper homage to the 80s side-scrolling 2D shooters. And I'm on board for it. It looks super, super pretty. Probably balls hard. It's going to be such a hard game, I bet. But I bet it's going to be very fun, very rewarding, and just tons of cool, weird sci-fi visuals. I'm really down for this game. So I think it's going to come out in a few months' time. I don't know if there's a proper release date yet. I'll put one up here if there is, but I'm not too sure. But still, as far as classic shoot-'em-up sort of action goes, I did the motion for playing on a Switch. I hope it's on the Switch. I think it is. I'm going to be down for this. Netflix has confirmed a third season of the animated He-Man show. When I say animated, of course, there's the Kevin Smith one, which is animated, but I mean like the CG, cartoony, more animated looking He-Man. And of course, this doesn't really fall too much in our wheelhouse because we're more with the classic nostalgic 80s kind of He-Man. But the new one, the fact that it's getting a third series, bodes really well just for the property of He-Man. Yes, this thing is made more for kids. I know, shocking, isn't it, that these things are made for kids? Why? But yeah, it means that the younger generations are actually getting into He-Man and these characters and these worlds. So it means that they are still viable properties. And that's really awesome. So even if you don't watch that show yourself, maybe you have kids who do, or maybe you have nieces and nephews who do. I don't know how kids work. I'm not interested in them. But that sounds so weird. But the fact this is happening, that's only a good thing. AEW, All Elite Wrestling, have shown footage, or more footage, we had some before, of their video game coming out when they're ready. And it's going to be called Fight Forever, which is actually one of the more obnoxious chants that we get in pro wrestling when a match is like, heavy work rate and 5 stars on the Meltzer scale. Meltzer scale, yeah, that's how you pronounce his name. Then the crowd will be chanting, Fight Forever! And there's no way of showing that actually people are less emotionally invested in a match than if they can sit there and sing in tune to a clappy chant. Like, if you're really actually like on the edge of your seat, you won't be doing that. You won't be amusing yourself like that. You'll be like there hanging on every move. So actually, the fact that audiences shout, Fight Forever, it actually means like you're trying to entertain yourselves more than actually just being invested in the match. So yeah, funny little contradiction that. But still, the game looks like it's actually, hopefully, gonna be good. Because what they're doing is, they've got people who used to work on the Aki games. And if anyone is like a real wrestling aficionado type person, Aki made the old WCW NWO games, like on the N64. They made WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy. Basically, the absolute tightest, best playing pro wrestling games. Because a lot of people say, and rightly, this AEW game, that the graphics don't look good. Like, this looks like PS3 level. Like, this is like cartoony, like not great at all. When you look at the like photoreal WWE 2K games, like it can't even hold a candle. But that's okay, because it's all about the gameplay. Because a pretty game will look pretty until you start playing it and then you're like, oh, this feels like ass to play. Whereas if they have got the Aki engine and the people who designed those games back in the day to recreate a modern version of that with the AEW wrestlers, haha, sign me the heck up. So we got some footage with Nyla Rose and Chris Statlander, which is kind of funny because Chris Statlander has just had a gimmick change, so she doesn't look like she does in the game, but who cares? You've got the creator wrestler, you can update that. But we don't have a release date yet, it'll be ready when it's ready, because also, look, I'm happy to wait, because a delayed game is only delayed for a certain amount of time, whereas a bad game is bad forever. So let's get a great AEW game, and honestly, when that happens, I will play the heck out of it, cannot wait. And over in WWE land, Roman Reigns might be becoming a part-time performer. What happened is that on a recent house show on one of the small towns, Roman Reigns cut a promo afterwards basically saying, you're probably not going to see me here anymore, but I want to say thank you so much for all the love and support and the cheers and the boos and all of the memories that you've given me in this town. I can't remember what the town was. I think it was like a New York suburb. So it wasn't like the middle of nowhere, but it was what you would possibly call a B-show type town. So it's giving the impression that perhaps Roman Reigns is going to cut his schedule back and it's going to become a bit more like John Cena was in his later years, where really it's Raw, SmackDown pay-per-views, and that might be it, and maybe the bigger stadium events. And if that's the case, that's fair enough. Roman Reigns has put in his time and his years, and he's had injuries and health scares and all kinds of things. If he's transitioning away, or if he's moving into the movie world, then more power to him. Or maybe he just said that to stir up some interest. I mean, he doesn't need to. He's like the biggest thing in pro wrestling. So I can't see why he would say that if there wasn't some element of truth to it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens now. But it very much feels like we are in the latter stages of Roman Reigns' in-ring career. So heck, if you're a Roman Reigns fan, and to be honest, you should be, enjoy him while he's here. Netflix have debuted a new trailer for Love, Death and Robots Series 3, and this is a show that is completely my wheelhouse. I love pretty animation, and this show is just a whole smorgasbord of beautiful different art styles. Because also, I have a notoriously short attention span as well, and none of these short stories tend to last more than 10 or 15 minutes. And that's great, so you can get in, see some pretty animation, probably a cool, weird, twisted, dark, robot sci-fi type story, and then get on out and get a new thing. So that's fantastic. The first 2 seasons I thought were brilliant. There were some hit and miss. You know, some episodes were stronger than others, but when it was good, it was real good. So season 3, sign me up. Can't wait. Disney have kind of announced that the Ashoka TV show is officially in production now, with a little picture they tweeted out of just, you know, a set photo of Ashoka rolling. Funnily enough, I thought it was already filming, or I thought it was in the can and going to be debuting after the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Clearly that's not the case. They're filming it as we speak. I'm not sure what's going to bridge the gap. I'm sure it's been announced. I just can't keep track. You know, eventually I'm going to be more invested. That's what's going to happen. I'm calling it now. The Obi-Wan show, that's going to win me back to Star Wars. Then I'm going to be eager to see what's coming next. But yeah, the Ashoka show, that's not easy to say, especially if you're Sean Connery. I must ask you a question, but I'll shave it for later. Anyway, the Ashoka show, why did I make myself say it again? It should be fun. We last left her, oh God, stop it, Dave. We last left her on the planet with Luke, where they were building the Jedi Temple, and apparently, like, it might have Darth Maul. No, not Darth Maul. It might have Anakin, Hayden Christensen, showing up. Maybe. As a Force ghost, perhaps? Who knows? I still don't like the idea of that, because Anakin is pretty much a high school shooter. Like, he killed younglings, you know? So I just can't see the redemption of that character. And people always say, like, you know, oh yes, but Anakin died the moment he went to the dark side. Did he? Because I'm pretty sure that was the same Anakin who massacred all the Sand People, women and children too. Just saying. You know, you kind of wrote yourself into a corner there. And that wasn't Disney, that was George. George, bad. Then again, Vader blew up an entire planet of Alderaan. It's like, I don't know, I'm all for redemption, but it's just a tough pill to swallow. Anyway, this show might be fun. I love Rosario Dawson. I think she's great. If we have weird, not Luke Skywalker, is it a CGI face? Is it a different actor? I couldn't quite tell. It was just a weird Uncanny Valley thing with him, so I wasn't a fan of that. But hey, it's filming, so let's see what happens. Gosh, it's a trailer-heavy day today because we also got Westworld Season 4. Now, look, I adored Westworld Season 1. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. I was hooked, riveted, loved it. And then Season 2 came out, and first of all, I got to admit, I'd completely forgotten what happened in Season 1. But then once I got up to speed and Season 2 was rolling, I was like, oh wow, you've just disappeared up your own arse. I cannot stand a show that loves the smell of its own farts and thinks that it's so smart and so clever, and it's like, oh, piss off, show. You're not as clever as you think you are. You're actually just convoluted and dumb. But then other people have been saying, look, Season 2 was tough to get through, but Season 3 was apparently a fantastic return to form. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I think I might read like a wiki for Season 2, and then I might watch Season 3 and then see what I think of Season 4. It's a tough one, guys. What do you think of Westworld? Comment below. Let me know. But right now, the trailer looks kind of cool. I love the sort of cyberpunk kind of thing they have going on. So, yeah, I'm interested, but I'm not convinced. And finally, I need to make a jingle for this because it's do-dum-dum-do-do-do-dum. Ben Watch. Yes, the Ben Reilly Clone Saga comic book watch, where I tell you all about the things that happen to the most important character that no one cares about except for me, Ben Reilly, the clone of Spider-Man. Now, first of all, I gotta admit, this character is not Ben Reilly. This is Beano, Ben Reilly in name only, but it's the closest I'm gonna get to having him in Spider-Man comics. So it was Free Comic Book Day yesterday or the day before, and they gave out a whole bunch of different comic books, and Marvel often uses this as a chance to preview what's coming up. And the last time we saw Ben Reilly, he had been twisted into a weird, kind of dark sort of version, like almost magic-y looking, of Spider-Man. And we didn't know what was going to happen next. And now it seems that he's teamed up with Madeline Pryor of the X-Men, the Jean Grey clone. So we're having like a clone-clone team-up sort of thing going on here. I don't know what the story's going to be, what the context, well I do know what the story technically is going to be called. It's going to be called The Dark Web, which annoyingly feels magical. I'm like, not only is Ben Reilly a heel now, but he's magic-based. Ugh, it's just... when it doesn't rain it pours, I tell you. But hey, at least we're getting him in the comics. And that's something I gotta be pleased with. And guys, that does it for good news for today. Thank you so much for watching. What did you think of the stories covered? Comment below. Let me know. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then join the 6-1 clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And if you want to go one step beyond in supporting the channel, you can do. How, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. First of all, you can go over to patreon.com/displaying model behavior. Toss a couple of bucks my way, helps keep the lights on and keep me in action figures that I can then talk about and review and then probably sell on to keep the circle of toys continuing. Or you can go over to Nope, you've done Patreon. You can go over to the YouTube channel membership section and get yourself a channel membership. That way you can watch all the exclusive videos on there, such as the most recent Toy Room tour, and it's basically going to be a weekly update, at least one new video a week. That's what I'm going to try and stick to. And also when we do the live streams, you get like a special icon next to your name that's like, boom, channel member, y'all better recognize. You don't have to actually say y'all better recognize. You can just let me embarrass myself by saying phrases like that from the early 90s, I think. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior. Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Display. I hate when I forget to move these back. I just feel so confined, you know? Gotta set the arms free. Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behavior, the Earth's mightiest. Let me do that.
Cup of coffee, big time.